and welcome back. We are moving on to our third section of the Mission Gold watercolors. In the previous two, we did this upper half and then this lower half, kind of doing a complete wheel rather than just going red to purple and everything in between. I just split it up into two. I thought it'd be two colorful color wheels, but anyway. And once again, for those that just joining, using the Tim Holtz stencil by Stampers Anonymous, it's THS 179. So if somebody's looking for a stencil, that's one you can use. I think it's called the Wheel. He makes this size, and he also makes a mini. So if this is too big for you. I'm working in a 9x12 handmade watercolor book that is it's covered in a collage strips that I did. Anyway, so what we're doing this time is permanent rose, permanent red, vermilion, yellow orange, permanent yellow deep, and greenish yellow, which made me stop for a second because the last time we did it was yellow green, but this is called greenish yellow, so that'll be interesting to see. Anyway, any of these single pigments? Yes, PV19 for that one, PR112. Wow. PR112 and PO73. Anyway, all right, so we're doing them straight out of the tubes, actually the caps, if we're totally being honest here, because I'm running out of palette space, so I want to have these colors in a book, or in this book, so that it's just, this is a book where I practice and I swatch and I doodle. That's not the right word. A watercolor doodle. Where's the front of the page? You know, when you're trying to find something, it always disappears on you right in that moment, right? Yep. Here's a previous bit. This is a book that I just work in and just kind of play around with palettes and play around with colors and do a thing. So now this is the thing I'm doing. I'm just adding to the color conversation, because I likes the colors. All right, starting off with permanent rose. I do have a small enameled pan off to the side in the event I need to offload some pigment if I get too much. But so far we've been doing pretty good, knock on wood. All right, permanent rose is up. Let's see what she's got for us today. I think I got too much water on my brush, but here we go. Perm rose. Oh, I think I'm gonna like this color. Already I'm feeling really good about this color. I tend to like rustic-y, vintagey things, and so, you know, the hot pinks like the operas and the violets, and those don't hold as much appeal to me as the more, I guess, dulled colors or vintagey colors. Or, well, there you go. Now look at that color. Woo! As sure as I say that, now look. That is in your face. That is rose. And this was PV19 was the pigment on this guy. So I guess technically that's in the violet family, right? Yes, I believe so. But I do like it. Maybe just because it's a warmer violet. And I tend to like warmer colors. Naturally attracted to them, I guess is the right word. All right. Excuse me. All right. This is looking a little less warm and a little cooler. And you know, it's funny because people go, oh, that color is a cool blue, and I'll look at it and think that is. So take anything I say with a grain of salt, because I am not classically trained. I am not formally educated. I'm just a hobbyist who likes playing with color, likes playing with art supplies. My favorite time of the year as a kid, and I am not exaggerating, was back to school shopping. I loved going up and down the school supply aisle. Back in the day, that was Kmart or Zayre, if anybody remembers that. Blast from the past. And I would just, you know, the colored pencils and the boxes of crayons, and oh, I was in heaven. Didn't care about the clothes. I wanted the school supplies, the highlighters and the papers and the notebooks and the protractors and all the things. I'm a silly child, but I've always loved the stationery aisle better than any other aisle in a store. Haven't met a stationery I didn't like. Well, I don't like really thin notebook paper, but you know what I mean. Okay. That swatched out pretty pale. That's a really pretty pigment. PV19. All right, let's move on to permanent red, which is PR112. Rouge Permanent. Permanent Rot. Rojo Permanente. They put 5 different languages on this. Well, these come from Korea, if I remember correctly. Which is strange they don't have these names in Korean, but okay. They probably do, just not the ones they sent here. This looks very, very red. Very candy apple. Fire engine, 4th of July. Oh, I like this red. Very Americana. Somebody asked me the other day what my favorite color is, and I said rust. Isn't that a silly color to love? But I love it. In fact, I got a shipment today of, I get gift cards from work, and I got I had a gift card that you have a year to use them, right? And I had this gift card that I had to use up by the end of the year. And so I hoard them. I hold on to them until I have to use them, because, you know, I hate to buy something and then, oh, I wish I hadn't have done that, because now I want, you know, something else. So the end of the year was coming up and I had to use it. And so I decided to order some fabric. And I ordered some Free Spirit fabric by Tim Holtz. And one of the fabrics I ordered was called Rusted Patina, I think, or something like that. Oh my goodness. When I opened the package, I told my husband, I think I could swim in this. I just want to like bathe in this fabric, bathe in these colors, because it was turquoise and rust together in the same fabric. And my merciful heavens, that is the most beautiful thing I ever saw. Okay, permanent red is not disappointing. It is very red. Moving on. But I love using fabric in my mixed media things. Right now I'm working on some little tiny journals. Like little journals for friends and family. I haven't decided if I'm going to give them to them for Valentine's or save them for birthday gifts this year. Probably I'll save them for birthday presents. But I cover those journals in fabric. So I don't need a lot. But if you're going to have fabric you love, right? Okay. Those two seem kind of similar. Let's see if I can maybe offload some of this to this one up here. Lighten this just a touch. Just a titch. Oh yeah, that looks nice. I've said it before and I'll say it again. These midtones are the star of the show for me, because that's usually what the colors I excuse me, I usually end up using are the midtone colors, and those are the colors I feel like are least represented in traditional swatches. So I really appreciate how I'm getting to see these midtone values alongside all the rest of it, of course. Okay, permanent red, looking good. And what I like about this pigment is it doesn't seem to go pinky on you. Oftentimes when red gets really, yeah, it's got a bit of a pink cast to it, but it still keeps its red even. We'll see how it dries down, of course. But I like it. Okay. Moving on to some vermilion. And that pigment is PR112 and PO73. Let's see how she goes. How does she go? Well, she looks very, very orange, as you would expect. Vermilion, I guess, is supposed to be a red-orange, and this is going to live up to its promise of being an orange. I was pleasantly surprised by organic vermilion with Daniel Smith. I really enjoyed that color a lot, that tube of paint. It's in one of my other videos. I think it's where I swatched out reds. Yep. This is a nice color. Very vibrant for two pigments. Yeah, pretty happy with that. I'm using a number 5 again. It's a very small brush. It's round, so I'll get a really nice tip on it, which lets you get right into that corner and draw those lines pretty cleanly. But this isn't about perfection. This is just about playing. Exploring the colors. I really like it at this shade. I don't know that the camera is going to pick that up very well, but this is a lovely, like, I don't know, salmon color. And my brush is a little dry though. I keep having to go back and get water. Running out of water. Oh yeah, that's quite lovely. Again, I'm not sure the camera's doing it. You can see it pretty well on the display, I guess, but apologies for clearing my throat so much. I'm fighting a little frog. All right, next, yellow orange, PO73 and PY65. This should be pretty tangerine. Let's see. Here's our previous orange, which was just aptly named orange. Let's see how this yellow orange stacks. Ooh, the pigment separated a little bit from the binder. Oh no, there's just a little bubble. Let's see. Oh, feels a little gummy. Looks a little tangerine-y. Well, when you think of orange, this is kind of one of those colors you think of. I'm not a college football person, but it makes me think of Tennessee Volunteers. Oh yeah, that's a no hate or no shade to the Volunteers, but man, that is a very interesting color of orange they selected, and this is right up there with it. Okay. Lovely. All right, moving on. Yep, very yellow orange. Aptly named. They clearly didn't want to overcomplicate their brand with a bunch of fancy names. They just call them very basic colors. Actually, I kind of like it. Alright. Let's see what this last baby shade looks like. This micro shade, micro hue. That's just something I just made up on the fly. Do not take that seriously. I don't have no idea if that's even a thing. Sometimes I speak first and think second. Okay. Get my hand out of the shade from throwing shade there. All right, let's move on to permanent yellow deep. And our pigments for this is PY65. That was on there like vice grip style. Ooh, gross. I hate it when that does that. We're not stopping to clean it right now though. But that is... Ugh. Alright, permanent yellow deep. This looks like a cad yellow. It looks very opaque as well. But they often do at this stage when you're putting in laying down full pigment, which nobody really does, at least that I've observed. Watercolor is very rarely used at this level and this strength, so this is a bit of an exception. But I kind of like it because I think it looks pretty, even if it's not realistic to the application. Oops, I didn't grab water. All right, less talking. Yeah, it's actually like a cad yellow. And now my pan's getting in my way. Okay. We're liking that yellow. Last one, and not the least, but the last one for this time around is going to be greenish yellow. And we're dealing with a 3 pigment tube here. PY150, PG36, and PY65. Hey, didn't we just have PY65? We sure did. PY65 was in this one too. Alright, so greenish yellow is on deck. Let's see what kind of fun can be had with this little pigment. I love me some greens, and I like me some yellow, green golds. Every brand calls there something a little different. This is not going to lay down thick, though. This is going to be a very... It's not going to let me have that really thick, juicy, opaque square at all. It's just moving around. It goes, yep, that's all you get, lady. That pigment does not play. It's going to dry blotchy too. Oh well. Alright. Carry on. It is what it is, man. I have a feeling we're not going to get a lot of range with this guy. I don't know why, but it just feels like it's going to be... Those midtones are going to be microscopically different at best. Let's see what we can get, though. Don't judge, just paint. Okay. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this color at all. Maybe it's the 3 pigments. I don't know. This just didn't give us a whole lot to work with at all. I love Permanent Yellow Deep, but I'm not a fan of this one. I mean, it's okay. It's just, look at this. It's just a gloppy mess down here. What is up with that mess? All right, we're going to try to... We're gonna make this even worse. Watch. See how to make things worse. Well, our rule is don't go back and mess with it, and here I am messing with it. Okay, well, that's gonna do it for this time. Stay tuned. We got the next section coming. I've got a tickle coming, so I'm gonna go before I hack my lung up. And thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.